You are listening to the Fringe Radio Network. FringeRadioNetwork.com.
You're listening to Earth Oddity, a weekly odyssey into all the oddity planet Earth has to offer. And now, serving it up are Christopher Tiny Sullivan and John Long.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Earth Oddity. We're glad you're joining us again this week. My name is John. I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Christopher Tiny Sullivan.
Hello.
And we have several news stories to bring you. Not as many as normal.
Super early edition this week.
We're recording early. Special Labor Day recording session for us.
Is it Labor Day?
Yeah, right. Yeah, thank a union member. Thank you, Tiny.
You're welcome.
You're in a union, right?
Well, yes, I am. I'm sitting here thinking.
Communist. Tiny's a communist. Confirmed right here on the show. To open the show up, Tiny loves socialism.
Well, I love socialism until this podcast thing catches on and I'm selling merchandise. Then I'm not for socialism anymore.
Yeah, so Labor Day is Monday, and I'll be camping out all weekend. And so we had to record early. It's currently Thursday night as we record. Mm-hmm. College football is in full swing. And we don't have as many stories as normal because the entire week hasn't played out, you know?
Right.
But we'll
just catch some of those stories on the back end.
Right. Yeah.
And that's fine. It's probably good that we're getting the show done early because otherwise this one that we're going to kick it off with wouldn't be quite
wouldn't be relevant.
It wouldn't be relevant anymore. Okay. But Trump.
Oh, yeah. Our
supposedly.
Non-socialist. MAGA. Yes. That's right. Yes. Shout out to John Myrick. Biggest Trump fan in our listening audience. Loves Trump.
Yeah. Supposedly, and this is being reported by Axios, he suggested nuking hurricanes.
Okay.
To stop them from hitting the United States.
All right. Well, I mean, okay, I could see some flaws in this, but let's see where he's going.
You know, I'm not so sure I can see any flaws in this.
Well, nothing like slinging radiation all over the eastern seaboard, Florida, Alabama, New Orleans. You know,
well, if you get them far enough off the coast, I mean,
yeah. I mean, that's radiation going to go somewhere, though, right?
We did that a lot in the 60s.
Right, yeah. Probably didn't cause any problems. Yeah. Anyway, probably didn't cause any problems.
Let's just read the article. How about that?
Yeah.
President Trump has suggested multiple times to senior Homeland Security and national security officials that they explore using nuclear bombs to stop hurricanes from hitting the United States, according to sources who have heard the president's private remarks and been briefed on a National Security Council memorandum that recorded those comments. During one hurricane briefing at the White House, Trump said, quote, I got it. Why don't we nuke them? According to one source who was there. They start forming off the coast of Africa as they're moving across the Atlantic. We drop a bomb inside the eye of the hurricane and it disrupts it. Why can't we do that? The source added, paraphrasing the president's remarks. Asked how the briefer reacted, the source recalled that he said something to the effect of, sir, we'll look into that. Which I imagine the president gets told that a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, we got it on the list, sir.
Not just our current president, but any president.
Right. If it's me, I'd have some pretty wild ideas, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, especially if you're just like brainstorming, you know?
Yeah, just throwing out ideas, spitballing.
You never know.
You're right. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a meteorologist. Can a nuclear bomb, can it disrupt a hurricane? I don't know.
I mean, I would think, I don't know.
I mean, you have a whole host of other problems to deal with after the bomb.
Yeah. Growing up in the Cold War, I was told that a nuke would just blow up the entire earth. So, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm very afraid of nukes.
And what about the mother of all bombs, the
right.
Moab?
Now, we did drop one of those.
Yeah, and that's not a nuclear bomb. That's just the largest
largest
standard
non-nuclear.
Ordnance.
Yeah, right.
Would that disrupt a hurricane? I don't know.
I don't know either. And my thing is, how are you going to get it to detonate on time? You know?
Well, I mean,
Like, doesn't it have to hit something?
no, they detonate bombs remotely. I'm pretty sure. Can't they?
Probably. I don't know.
You know, I mean,
Just time it up.
I'm pretty sure they detonate that from a keyboard somewhere.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I don't know how nukes work.
I can say I shot a shotgun at a tornado one time.
Okay.
Did
Very
nothing.
Alabama of you.
Did nothing.
Very.
Did not disrupt it
Like,
at all.
violently Alabama is what that is.
Yes.
You know, Tiny doing everything he can to enforce every stereotype about Alabamians that he can.
I mean, if we're being honest, the shot, I'm sure, got nowhere near it.
Probably
it
not.
was just, hey, it's just a wild afternoon.
Just getting a little crazy, during a tornado watch.
Anyway,
James Spann would be disappointed.
well, he would be disappointed because he wasn't there because it was a blast.
That's true. I got you.
Yeah. Trump replied by asking incredulously how many hurricanes the U.S. could handle and reiterating his suggestion that the government intervene before they make landfall. So he's looking at hurricanes like this is an invasion. Like,
Right.
how many hurricanes can we
Like,
stab
hey,
off?
we need to stop them.
Yes. The briefer was knocked back on his heels, the source in the room added. You could hear a gnat fart in that meeting. People were astonished. After the meeting ended, we thought, what do we do with this? Trump also raised the idea in another conversation with a senior administration official. A 2017 NSC memo describes that second conversation in which Trump asked whether the administration should bomb hurricanes to stop them from hitting the homeland. A source briefed on the NSC memo said it does not contain the word nuclear. It just says the president talked about bombing hurricanes.
Okay.
Which,
all right.
I mean, sounds fun.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. I don't know. At least he's being proactive,
Yes,
right?
yes.
That's not a bad idea.
The source added that this NSC memo captured multiple topics, not just hurricanes. It wasn't that somebody was so terrified of the bombing idea that they wrote it down. They just captured the president's comments. Yeah. The source said that Trump's bomb the hurricanes idea, which I would just like to say that sounds like a great t-shirt.
Right.
Like
if, when Florida State Miami plays or whatever. Yeah.
If that is not available online somewhere now,
should be.
You know what? We should make up some bomb the hurricanes.
Bomb the hurricanes. Not a bad idea.
Which he floated early in the first year and a bit of his presidency before John Bolton took over as National Security Advisor. It went nowhere and never entered a formal policy process. So again, probably just spitballing.
Yeah.
If it happened.
If it even happened.
If it
Because
happened.
Trump denies it. I saw where Trump came out.
He did. He came out on Twitter.
On Twitter.
His preferred
Yes.
way to.
The presidential Twitter.
Yes.
And said
that it was fake news, that he never done it.
Right.
And that's not the first time we've heard Trump say that.
Well, we know he's trustworthy. Number one.
But
Never cheated on his wife or anything. Right.
Yes.
So we know he's trustworthy. He's probably telling the truth.
But to be honest, there's been some news reports that were sometimes less than trustworthy
true.
also.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
there's a little bit of truth in both sides.
Yeah, right. And I just don't know why he didn't go with building a wall like around the Gulf.
Around the coast. Yeah.
To keep it. I mean, that seems to be his preferred method of stopping an invasion of any type. So,
well, knowing the way our president speaks and his total disregard for being politically correct, I'm surprised he just didn't say no Mexican hurricanes.
Now, the current hurricane that is headed here is called Dorian. That doesn't sound like a Latin name, so maybe he decided to take a different approach.
Maybe.
But yeah, let's just stick a wall out there and see what happens.
I will say that this article here says that Trump did not invent the idea. The notion that detonating a nuclear bomb over the eye of a hurricane could be used to counteract convection currents dates to the Eisenhower era when it was floated by a government scientist. The idea keeps resurfacing in the public, even though scientists agree that it will not work. So scientists, which, I mean, I'm sure a meteorologist would have a much better hypothesis on whether this is going to work or not. But to date, we haven't bombed any hurricanes, have we?
Not that we know of.
Right. That's true.
I mean, they may have tried it somewhere along the way.
We've detonated a lot of nuclear bombs. I suppose maybe one of them could have been aimed at a hurricane.
Exactly.
But we don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But it's kind of, wild that's been floating around for a while. Now, Eisenhower, he didn't play around too much. So they may have tried it back when he was in office.
It says that the myth has been so persistent that the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the U.S. government agency that predicts changes in weather and the oceans, published an online fact sheet for the public under the heading Tropical Cyclones Myths page. The page states that, quote, apart from the fact that this might not even alter the storm, this approach neglects the problem that the released radioactive fallout would fairly quickly move with the trade winds to affect land areas and cause devastating environmental problems. Needless to say, this is not a good idea.
Yeah, like, hey, people on the coast, you're now homeless and you have cancer.
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably not the best idea.
And it also mentions that dropping a nuclear bomb into a hurricane, while awesome, would also be banned under the terms of the Peaceful Nuclear Explosions Treaty between the U.S. and the former Soviet Union. Now, I'd like to point out that this is the former Soviet Union.
True.
So is that agreement still in effect?
They probably re-upped a lot of that stuff, I would think.
You would think.
Yeah.
Anyway, it says, so that could stave off any experiment so long as the U.S. observes the terms of the treaty. So,
well, we all know that Trump works for Putin anyway, so.
He's a Putin puppet.
Yeah. Putin would probably give him the okay if he wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's wild.
I would like to point out that Hillary Clinton, she came out on Twitter and just made a simple statement. No, I do not think we should be detonating nuclear bombs over hurricanes.
Okay.
To which Twitter responded, so long as it's not Hurricane Epstein.
Like I said earlier, people are mean on Twitter. That's why I stay hidden on there. I don't want anybody to know who I am because people are mean. Well, let's move on here to a story that was sent to me by a couple of different people, contributing editor Todd, who's sent a numerous amount of stories to me, and my good friend Blue Hawk. Shout out to Blue Hawk, longtime friend, lives right almost next door to my mom and dad. And he's just a really great American veteran.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for your service, Blue Hawk.
That's right. Yeah. And, I was telling how many people he's killed. He's probably taking out terrorists left and right.
God bless him.
That's right. Yeah. It comes from Kennewick, Washington. So another story that proves that rednecks don't always live in Alabama. A man experienced instant karma over the weekend when his pickup was stolen while he was robbing the business across the street. The incident unfolded around 6 a.m. Sunday when Kennewick police responded to reports of a vehicle theft. The vehicle's owner told officers someone had stolen his 1992 Chevy pickup. The owner had left his keys behind on the seat, and the thief drove off with the truck.
While he was robbing.
Well, but after surveillance video was reviewed, which the video is pretty good.
Okay.
Police discovered that the reason the pickup owner had left his truck was because he was off stealing items from a business across the street.
Oh, no.
The pickup owner was then booked in the Benton County Jail on a warrant and a new burglary charge, and his pickup is still missing. So that's all the story has to say, but kudos to the second thief,
I was just going to say, if your car gets stolen while you're committing a crime, what do? You don't
call the police.
You can't call the police.
Right. Yeah. And I think this is a great fight crime with crime. It's like fighting fire with fire.
Yeah.
This is what we need to do. We need to encourage vigilante criminal justice. Like, just get the criminals versus each other. No more cops versus criminals, just criminals versus criminals,
It's a good idea.
And get our cops back to serving and protecting us instead of, shooting innocent people and making us pay for tickets because we drive 5 miles over speed limit.
Well, we see how well that's worked out in Chicago.
True.
In other urban areas.
You make a compelling argument. I'll admit, you make a compelling argument. But yeah, imagine you're like, well, I'm going to go get something out of the store. I'm fixing to steal this business. And then you come out with like an armful of stuff and your truck's gone. You're like, wait, I know I parked it right there.
That's got to be a bad feeling.
Yeah, it is.
Your getaway car is gone.
It's gone.
You're not getting away now.
And now you got to and just the gall to call the police, after that happened and go, hey, my truck was stolen. Why? You just got to you got to chalk that one up. Like, I'll never see that truck again. Let me go pawn off this stuff I've stolen to try to get a down payment up for a new truck. Like, you can't just roll in and call the cops,
Yeah, no.
But sometimes criminals are dumb. Imagine that.
I mean, I guess maybe you could leave your cell phone behind and like maybe hide it somewhere.
You do like
and
a
go
Find
track
My
it down
iPhone.
later. Yeah, maybe you could do that.
What's the stuff they put on construction equipment? Low jack. It's basically like a GPS locator thing. Yeah. So it's like a low rent, low jack. That's like a low jack. Just hide your phone under the seat.
Yes.
He left it running too. Which people do that here. Like they'll go in the convenience store and leave their car running. I'm always like, I could just steal your car right now.
I mean, it's a pain to get in a hot car and get it cooled off and then, get out somewhere and you're not going to be gone long. Right. Just long enough for the car to heat up again.
Yeah. Yes.
That's aggravating, but I always take my keys with me.
I do too. But the people who do that are mighty brave. No.
Right.
And they're never.
Or they may just be driving a piece of junk.
That's
they're not worried about it getting stolen.
You don't see too many people in luxury cars doing that. Like, I could probably do it in my car and people are like, I'm not stealing that piece of crap.
It's more trouble than it's worth.
Yeah, right. I'm going to have to get it worked on as soon as I get it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I could do it, but I'm not as trusting as I should be. But, the world's changed.
Yeah.
People are dangerous.
Well, the next thing I want to talk about is werewolf babies.
Oh, okay. Normal.
Now, when I saw this, I was really interested. But, when I was kind of reading through the article, I don't think it's quite as interesting as I thought it was going to be.
Dang.
So we're going to do our best here, people, to make this interesting.
Well, I mean, the headline is a grabber. Werewolf babies?
Babies develop werewolf syndrome after medicine mix-up in Spain.
Oh, wow. Now, I've saw a documentary about like these carnival kids that are all super hairy, but they were just born. That was like a genetic thing.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, anyway, at least 17 children developed so-called werewolf syndrome after a major medicine mix-up in Spain's health ministry has said. The children, some of them being babies, began growing hair all over their body after being given what was thought to be, now this is going to be tough, but Alprazolam.
Nailed it.
Which is a drug that helps with gastric reflux.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Everybody.
However, after investigating, authorities discovered that the treatment actually contains minoxidil, a medication used for the treatment of hair loss. So,
and by the way, my stomach just growled in case the microphone picked it up. For our listening audience, that wasn't a werewolf. That was my stomach. I had pork chops tonight. Sorry.
The health minister, Maria Luisa Carcendo, said on Wednesday they found that the bad batches came from a laboratory that had put this medication in a container that was marked as the other medication.
Sure.
The really difficult O word.
Yeah.
And they distribute it to pharmacies as such. The children are now suffering from the rare condition known as hypertrichosis, which causes abnormal hair growth.
Okay.
They're werewolves now.
Yeah, right.
It is unclear how the laboratory, golly, I should have picked a different article.
No, keep going. I'm loving it.
A supplier of active ingredients and pharmaceuticals based in the southern city of Maglaga made the mistake, which emerged in June. A health ministry spokesperson said that the 17 children affected so far were in the northern region of Cantabria, Andalusia, that's in Alabama. In the south, and Valencia in the east. In a statement, the ministry said that the condition was expected to reverse after the children stopped taking the drug, which has been withdrawn from the market. Carcendo said the laboratory had been closed as a precaution. A spokeswoman for Andalusia's health department said that the 4 affected children in the southern region, 3 babies and a 7-year-old, were doing well.
Well, you got to leave the 7-year-old on it because he can become Teen Wolf and start like dunking the ball on everybody.
Well, you can't give him any silver jewelry to wear.
True.
He does have a mild silver allergy now.
Yeah. But yeah, if your kid could turn into Teen Wolf, would you not let him? That's a college scholarship right there,
I don't understand why he, in the movie Teen Wolf, why he didn't turn into the wolf like in the championship game. Isn't that when you need the wolf the most?
Well, they won the game. Didn't he like sink the free throws to win the game?
He won the game by one free throw.
Okay, right. Well, that was the point. Like, hey, I can do it without the wolf or whatever.
But the wolf is a part of you, right?
That's who you are.
Yeah. So you're not cheating.
Yeah, you were just a nerd before the wolf.
You were born a werewolf,
right? Yeah, with
superpowers, with magical basketball powers.
True, right? Yes.
So,
and this has been an episode of Retro Rewind Podcast. Thank you for listening. Yeah, but I don't know. You just gotta let your kid go with it. I don't know. It would be wild though if you have a baby and like you kiss him goodnight, like he's in the hospital or whatever, and go home and then come back the next day and the kid's got like a ZZ Top beard growing.
Right.
You're like, hey, are you sure this is my kid? I don't know.
I mean, I would probably come home with a chew toy. My wife would be so mad at me.
You had one of those big old rawhide bones you like put in his crib. That's not
Tara
bad.
Says feed the baby. I'm like giving him puppy chow.
Yeah, I would do like baby ZZ Top cover band. That would be me.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I can grow a beard pretty quickly. Maybe I have werewolf syndrome.
Maybe.
I don't know. I can't. I have very smooth legs though.
Okay, well, you don't have werewolf syndrome then.
Maybe from the waist up. I'm Native American from the waist down. Everybody knows that.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Extra large loincloth, if you're asking. And for the people out there wondering. But yeah, I don't grow hair on my legs. My boss at work, David, the vice president, he likes to point out that I don't have hair on my legs.
Okay.
And I'm always like, kind of weird you're looking at my legs, man. Yeah. Like, this could be a sexual harassment lawsuit or something. But yeah.
Makes you a faster swimmer.
My mom doesn't have hair on her legs either. She doesn't shave her legs or anything.
Huh.
So yeah, it's hereditary. It's that native blood for all you honkies out there listening. Y'all don't know about this life. But
okay, Elizabeth Warren, what's your next story?
I'm a card-carrying member of a Native American tribe. By the way, don't make me pull it out and show it to you. I have a card in my wallet right here.
Well, if you can beat what was it?
Oh, she's like 0.0. Yeah.
If you can beat that, you got her beat.
Yes. Well, let's move on to this next story, which was posted up in our group, and I don't remember who posted it. But, maybe I posted it, actually.
Maybe. Shout out to John Long.
Yeah.
Co-host of the podcast.
Shout out to me. I don't know if I did or I didn't. I'm telling myself I did now, though. But I've convinced myself of a lot of things in my life that weren't true.
Right.
Like that I was cool during high school, you know, and I look back at now, I was like, man, I was the biggest dork in the world. Anyways, this comes from AL.com. And it says, a Tennessee church won't hire black maid because of priest's kind of racist dog. And the reason I think I posted
that
this
dog
up
is canceled
is if you'll remember back several episodes ago, I spoke on the fact that I had a kind of racist dog growing up, Baby the Wonder Dog. And so I want to get that out there. Our governor has had a little bit of trouble about things in her past that's came out today. And I just want to go on the record. I once had a kind of racist dog, and it had nothing to do with my family or anything. He was just a kind of racist dog. It was a girl. It was a female.
Right.
She was a kind of racist dog.
Terrible dog.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That dog's canceled. Canceled. Actually, we love that dog. That dog was great, but not because it was kind of racist. The home of a Catholic priest was the last place LaShundra Allen ever would have expected to be denied work because of her skin color, she said. Allen, who is black, arrived with her white co-worker on the morning of May 3rd for what was supposed to be the first day of cleaning Reverend Jack Kowal's rectory at the Catholic Church of Incarnation in Collierville, Tennessee. Now, let me say, cleaning Jack Kowal's rectory, that sentence could have been real bad. The co-worker from the cleaning company who accompanied her, whose name was Emily Weaver, was quitting and came along to introduce Allen as a replacement. But the women wouldn't get far. The secretary stopped them And Alan told the Washington Post, and she said she would have to go ask Kowal if the new arrangement was okay. And the secretary soon informed them it was actually not okay because of the priest's racist dog.
Oh, no. Okay, now, if you're the secretary...
Yeah, you don't
is
come
that
out of
really going to be what you go with?
Well, I thought all those white people had like it, understood like, hey, we don't throw each other on the bus, right?
I mean,
that's what we talk about in our white meetings,
I mean, I would rather say that you can't go in there right now because the priest is doing some weird satanic ritual or something. That would come off better than the dog is racist.
I'm sorry, Kowal's secretary said, according to the complaint sent to the Catholic Diocese of Memphis last month, we are not trying to be rude, but the dog doesn't like black people. The secretary is way too upfront here.
I was about to say.
Alan said she really didn't even have words, and she was baffled at what she had heard, and she ultimately turned away, and the experience haunted her so much that she felt she could not stay silent. They came at me like it was supposed to be a joke, she said, but it was not funny. There was nothing funny about it. Understandable.
I agree.
Completely understandable. Of course, here we are making jokes about it. There's nothing funny about it if this actually happens.
Right.
And so they have sent a racial discrimination complaint to the Diocese of Memphis on July 3rd, seeking a settlement and compromise. But on Friday, the Diocese of Memphis said in a statement that it completed its investigation and found that what happened at the priest's rectory simply was not a case of racial discrimination and that Kowal did nothing wrong. Imagine the Catholic Church investigating themselves and finding out that nothing was wrong. No wrongdoing. Yeah, everything's okay. Yeah.
I mean, if anyone's at fault here, it's the dog, right?
Well, maybe that's what we're getting to.
And maybe a little bit the secretary, too.
Yeah. In the church's version of events, the secretary's words were, Father Jack's dog is kind of racist. Although in the eyes of the diocese, the statement did not stem from any racial discrimination. The priest and the church staff were strictly concerned that the dog, a German shepherd, is problematic.
Oh, no.
So problematic.
Any other breed of dog would have been better.
Yeah, that's a tough one. A German shepherd named Caesar could attack Alan or both women based in part on a past incident the dog had with an African-American person.
Are you sure the dog's name was Caesar and not Himmler?
I don't know. Although the parish staff members' choice of words was highly unfortunate and imprecise, they were not motivated by racial animus, Talley wrote. Talley is the bishop, Bishop David Talley.
You know what? If I'm the person in charge here, I get rid of the dog.
Yeah.
I fire the secretary.
Yeah.
And I ask this lady how much.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you can do.
What's it going to take?
Right. Now, Alan goes on to say, rather, the concern by all involved was the safety of these women, one of whom was a stranger to the dog, and they knew that attempting to crate the dog would be dangerous when the owner was not present. So, Alan's attorney, Maureen Holland, said she was disappointed in the bishop's finding, and Alan said she feared the diocese was not taking her complaint seriously, especially because the church did not respond for weeks to her letter. Blaming a dog for racism, she said, appeared to mask an underlying discrimination, and she felt both discipline and training for the priest and staff should have been required because, in her words, he needs to know that it's not okay to say something like that to people. Agree?
I agree. It's not.
Yeah. Alan went on to say, I took it to be that he was using the dog as an excuse. Dogs can't see color. Dogs can only be taught who to be around and who not to be around. Man, and this article is way longer than I really thought it was going to be. So let's just end it right there. And let's just say, I want to go on record now that my current dog, Jay Barker, 100% not racist. He barks at Tiny every time he comes to my house.
I know, and I used to think I was really good with animals.
Yeah.
Until that day we went over to Kevin's house to record with them.
Yes.
And his dog didn't like me either. So I don't know what the deal is.
Tiny's got bad energy for dogs. They don't like him. So.
And that wasn't always the case.
Yeah. But my current dog just barks at everybody. That's why his name is Jay Barker. He barks. That's that's his only skill. Can't fetch. Well, he does know how to sit, but yeah. If you can't let this happen.
If you do have a dog that appears to be a little prejudiced against certain types of people, what do you do? Can you send the dog to rehab?
I think, because I've thought about my experience with Baby. Like in my neighborhood, I grew up in your standard middle class neighborhood in Fed, Alabama. I have no black neighbors around, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so my dog just never saw any black people. And so like when Halloween, when everybody come trick or treating and the dog would chase everybody with masks and black people and all that it was just something different for the dog.
Right.
You know? That was my thing. Now my dog, Baby, who was like part Feist and parts Dotson, was a little bitty dog. It wasn't going to like viciously attack you. It's not a German Shepherd. It's not going to bite your jugular out or whatever.
Right.
It barked at everybody too, like Jay. Like anybody who came in the house, it barked at everybody.
Right.
It'd get a little fired up if a person when the Jehovah's Witnesses would come by or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know what you can do, you know? I don't know.
Maybe it sounds like a business. Maybe.
Yeah.
If I knew anything about dog psychology,
that's not a bad idea.
that might be something I would do.
There's the thing, like pet owners are so dumb. They'll pay money for it anyways.
That's true.
You know? Like dog rehab, you know, or whatever.
Yeah.
Dog sensitivity training.
Where we just get our African-American friends to come around and like play fetch and whatnot.
Right, yeah.
Like desensitize them.
Yes, right, yeah. That's a great idea. I was going to go maybe we go blackface and do it.
No.
That's a little more problematic.
Canceled.
Yeah. That's a little more problematic. That was my bad. I was trying to think of cutting costs because we're going to have to pay people to come and play with them too, you know?
Well, I think the dogs would know.
Yeah, probably. Right? I don't know.
Don't they have a sixth sense?
Well, they can't see color.
Oh, they can see ghosts.
True.
They know.
That's right.
They know when a ghost is around,
True.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you do. And I just feel like the secretary really dropped the ball here.
That secretary needs to be fired.
Right.
You get rid of the secretary.
And she may have been even coming from a good place, like in her mind. Now, of course, you know, we're in the South and people will say things they don't think's racist and it comes across as racist. I guess that happens nationwide probably, but you know, living in the South, we see it happen here. And she may have thought she was doing the right thing. Like, hey, I got a big old dog back here that might eat your face off, you know?
Yeah, but no matter the intentions of that lady, you can't just let that happen again.
Well, and also, let's not label the dog a racist. You know, it may not be. It may just hate everybody, right?
Right.
You know, that German Shepherd may hate Jewish people. It may hate white people.
It's an anti-Semite dog.
Yeah, like if you're not blonde hair, blue eyed, that dog is coming after you, right?
That dog is all about the master breed.
Yes, right. Yes. Yes.
It's a Nazi dog.
It's a Nazi dog. German Shepherds are cool dogs, though, if you get them and they train them and everything.
If you raise them right.
Yeah, if you raise them right. Yeah. And this may be a case, you know, like pit bulls, you know, we all know pit bulls like to eat babies, right? Like, that's agreed. That's pretty much a given, right? Pit bulls just like to eat humans. That's what they do, you know?
Yeah.
And everybody's always like, well, you got to blame the owner for that, you know?
Right.
Not the years of breeding them to fight and everything. They're like, oh, no, they're nanny dogs and everything. And you're like, well, yeah, they may have been at one time, but now they've been trained to fight. So we don't blame the dog in that situation when it eats a baby, you know?
Right.
So let's not just blame the dog immediately, Secretary Lady. Maybe the owner's racist.
We just got to breed the Nazi out of them.
Just got to breed the Nazi out of them. Yeah, I don't know. That's tough, though. And, you know, Catholic Church needs to be like, hey, lady, we are so sorry.
What's it going to take?
Yeah, we're going to pay you and you can clean the church for the rest of your life.
If you want to.
If you want to.
Right.
And, you know, maybe that's how we structure this settlement. You clean the church and we pay you $3,000 every time you come in and do it, you know?
If that's the case, I'm paying it once. You're cleaning that rectory one time.
One time for $3 million or, you know, like 100,000 times for 3,000.
You said 300,000 though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I can't do the math.
That's a lot more than 3,000.
Yeah. Right. I thought I said 3,000.
I think you said 300,000.
I may have. I don't know.
Oh, well.
This has been a long day.
I'd say I'm going to move on to my last story, which is a far safer story to talk about. You know what you can't take on planes now?
What's that?
Thermal detonators.
Oh, imagine that.
Right.
It makes sense. Water, shampoo, thermal detonators.
Yeah. TSA banned Star Wars Galaxy's Edge thermal detonator Coke bottles.
Okay.
Now, for all my nerds out there listening to this, thermal detonator was a little grenade type apparatus in Return of the Jedi.
Okay, see, I'm not a nerd, and I thought it was like an actual detonator. Sorry.
Okay, when Princess Leia puts on her bounty hunter costume and breaks into Jabba's palace in the very beginning of Return of the Jedi to rescue Han Solo, and Jabba's like, why should we pay you all this money? And she's like, well, because I'm holding a thermal detonator.
Oh.
Actually, C-3PO says that because he was interpreting for Leia. So
I only remember 2 outfits from Leia. One was that big old white robe, and the other was the bikini thing.
Yes.
That's the only outfits I remember her being in.
I do remember the first time I watched Return of the Jedi, seeing Carrie Fisher in that metal bikini was like, it was at that point I was like, okay, you know what? I like girls now.
Hey, video games aren't so cool anymore. I watched Return of the Jedi in the movie theater.
Wow.
Yeah.
I saw
with
it.
my brother for his birthday.
I saw it on VHS that my mom had recorded off of the Disney Channel.
Wow.
And we had to fast forward through commercials.
But yeah. I don't remember that scene with Carrie Fisher.
Well, anyway.
Which her best movie was Blues Brothers, by the way. I just want to point that out to everybody listening. Her best movie is Blues Brothers.
Well, anyway, you did know that Disney, they're opening up a Star
they got
Wars
a whole
theme park.
Yeah, right.
It's
They're all in on Star Wars now.
Galaxy's Edge. It's supposed to be opening, I think, later on this year. But anyway, as Disney prepares to open its Star Wars Galaxy's Edge park in Orlando, Florida on Thursday, so this week, how about that? TSA is cracking down on one of its most collectible items, its $5 Coke bottles. There are more than 1,000 unique items that park goers can purchase at Galaxy's Edge, and one of the most popular and the cheapest is the bottles of Coke, Diet Coke, and Sprite that have been stylized to fit the world of Batuu. The sodas are reminiscent of thermal detonators from the Star Wars films and feature the name of each brand in... forgive me, Star Wars nerds. Arbish.
Dude, you were asking the wrong guy.
I didn't read that far into the extended universe to know what that is. But it's a fictional language of the Star Wars universe. Fans have become enamored with these plastic bottles even before the California iteration of Galaxy's Edge opened in May. Many have collected the bottles and brought them home from the park to display them on shelves, or in some cases, turn them into Christmas tree ornaments.
Oh,
sounds super cool.
If you're a nerd.
However, the Transportation Security Administration has banned the souvenir from flights because it looks like an explosive.
Okay.
A reply tweet from a TSA verified Twitter account posted in early August was first spotted by the Orange County Register. Fans were quick to ask if removing the cap from the bottle and transporting them separately would allow them to bring the bottles on flights or stow them in luggage. However, the TSA was quick to squash that loophole. Even with a normal bottle cap, the item is still considered a replica and is not allowed in carry-on or checked bags, a tweet from the account said Tuesday.
Not even in checked bags. That's surprising to me.
That's surprising, yes. If our officers discover a replica item during screening and believes it's real, because why wouldn't you think that the Star Wars grenade is real?
Well, I don't even know what it looks like, so not everybody's a Star Wars nerd.
Well, now, hold on. I got a picture right here. There you go.
Oh, well, the Coke logo is kind of going to make you be like, it's probably not real, right?
You would think.
Yeah, Coke's not producing a grenade.
I was about to say, granted, it's not in English. It's in Batuu language, but still.
Well, Coke, you can tell a Coke logo.
You can tell a Coke
They've done
logo.
a good job with their branding, even in different languages,
job.
right?
Travelers who visit the planet of Batuu are permitted to board flights with hand-built lightsabers and Astro merch droids sold at the Black Spire outpost.
Sounds like the worst flight ever to be on.
Yes.
Like if you're like a normal, like non-Star Wars nerd and you get your seat and some dude comes in with his lightsaber to sit down beside you, you're like, oh my goodness, just kill me now.
The TSA's What Can I Bring guide even has a sense of humor about it, saying, sadly, the technology doesn't currently exist to create a real lightsaber. However, you can pack a toy lightsaber in your carry-on or checked bag. May the Force be with you. But if we find a thermal detonator in that bag, our officers are going to confiscate that, and they're probably going to take it home and put it on their Christmas tree.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I may have told this story before. Hudson had to have some tests done in Chicago at the hospital up there. This has been years ago. And we flew into Midway, and we just spent the day, really. Well, we spent the night, and the next day we flew back. And we were going through the thing. It's because Hudson's got a pacemaker and all his heart problems. He has to get in the body scan machine, you know? And so Deidre stayed with him and did that. And I went on through with our carry-on bags, and Deidre had a bottle of water in her backpack. And the TSA agent took it out, and he was like, you can't bring this on. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm sure we forgot it was in there. And he turned around and threw it in this big Rubbermaid trash can right beside us. And I was like, hey, if that's an explosive, should we not dispose of it a little better than this? You know? And he did not think I was making a compelling argument. So I dropped that real quick. But I was just like, man,
That's a good point.
We're throwing this away willy-nilly. And the reason we can't take it on the plane is because you think it may be like nitroglycerin or something, you know?
Yes.
And
shouldn't we have a huge steel box lined with lead?
Yeah, you should have a bulletproof vest or, a bomb blast suit on and stuff.
You're not even going to have a dog sniff it?
Yeah,
Come
right.
on.
Yeah,
Don't need a dog to sniff it.
You just threw away a $3 bottle of smart water, you know? And it's water, but I still can't bring it on, you know?
Right.
Because somebody made a rule somewhere. And now we got to take our shoes off, too, because that one dude who tried to blow up a plane with his shoes. But anyways, I don't know. One part of me is siding with the TSA in my ongoing war against nerds in this debate. And the other side of me...
You haven't given it up yet?
No. I'll never give it up. And the other side of me is siding with the nerds in the, hey, it's just a Coca-Cola, right?
Right.
So I don't know where to take this debate in my internal debate over who's right in this whole situation. But it's crazy that you can't check it.
I know. It's a Coke bottle.
Yeah, you can check a rifle and fly it across the country.
You absolutely can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've known people who shoot competition and have done that.
Yeah, no big deal,
Right.
Now, you better have a really good case because they throw that stuff around when they're loading it in the plane.
They do.
But, yeah.
You got to have the ammunition obviously it can't be loaded. It's got to be separate, but it has to be in a hard, lockable case.
Right.
But you keep the key.
Yeah.
Here, now this was several years ago, but if you remember, there's a guy who flew with a handgun. He checked it. He got off of his plane. He got it at the bag check or whatever. Yeah. And he took it to the bathroom, loaded it, and shot people.
Wow.
So.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Wow. That's an elaborate way to kill people. You could do that without buying a plane ticket, you know? Like if you're just desiring to kill people.
Yeah, I have no idea what the deal was, but he did that. And there was a lot of people saying, how did this guy have a gun in an airport? And everyone was like, well, he flew it there. That's how he had it.
Right, he flew it there. Wow.
And he wasn't in the actual terminal. He was outside of security.
Yeah.
But, that's what he did.
Yeah, because usually when you pick up your bags, you're already through, all the security stuff. So,
but no Coke bottles.
But no Coke
from
bottles.
Disney World.
Right, yeah.
Well, sorry, Mouse.
Yeah, well, chalk one up for the normal people. Like I say, that flight back, with all the people in their Jedi robes and their lightsabers, and they're all trying to talk.
Their rat tails.
Yeah. And people doing Yoda impressions the whole way back. I was like, kill me now. I pull the stewardess over and I'd be like, is there any way you can kill me? Yeah. Shutting my own head in the dinner tray, the fold down tray. Just take me out.
Just open the emergency exit hatch and jump out.
Right. Yes. Yes. Which when we flew to Disney World, Hudson's loud anyways. Hudson's loud 100% of the time. All my family's loud. We're a very loud family. But Hudson's just screaming because, your ears are all pressurized and stuff. And I just had to look around at everybody and be like, hey, y'all, I'm so sorry. I know I know, but I'm doing this so I wouldn't have to hear this for like 12 hours while I drive down here. So y'all just got to give me a break. He's just excited. He wasn't being mean or anything. He's just loud.
Right.
Like looking out the window. I was like screaming at the top of his lungs,
Yeah.
And you're just like looking at all these people like, I am so sorry.
How old was Hudson?
This was like 2 years ago. So he was like 9.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Because you would think Hudson nowadays would be like, I thought we'd be higher.
When Hudson gets excited, it's hard to contain it. Really, one of the greatest things in life is excited Hudson. I wish
I
everyone.
don't think I've ever seen excited Hudson.
I wish everyone could experience it. It's like one of the greatest, like pure, emotion. It's beautiful. I love it. And if you ever get a chance to be around him during those moments, which are very rare,
I was about to say you need to give me a call because I don't think I've ever seen excited Hudson.
It's a sight to see for sure.
Yeah,
definitely. And let's move on here to round out the day with a Florida story.
Of course.
Florida man who didn't flush the toilet threatened a griping friend with a machete, say police. Keith Mounts allegedly told Pasco County Sheriff deputies that stuff happens.
Okay.
A Florida man apparently didn't appreciate being told to flush the toilet in another person's home after using it, and he allegedly threatened the fellow who complained by threatening to chop him with a machete.
Oh my goodness.
The suspect, who's 46 years old and is named Keith Mounts, later offered this all too appropriate explanation to police. Blank happened.
Wait a minute. So he was trying to explain himself to the police, and that's what he went with?
That's what he went with.
Oh my gosh.
As a result of the crappy situation, Pasco County Sheriff's deputies arrested Mounts Saturday on a felony aggravated assault charge, and the alleged incident occurred at the unnamed victim's home in Hudson, Florida, located about 30 miles north of Tampa. While that we were just talking about my son named Hudson, and the story happened in a town named Hudson. Synchronicity. The suspect didn't flush, and when the victim called him on it, the suspect threatened him with a machete, a spokesperson for the sheriff's office said.
Why would you not just flush the toilet?
Maybe it's conserving water,
But it's not his house.
Well, yeah. I mean, the rule is if it's brown, flush it down. If it's yellow, it's mellow.
I thought we all knew that.
Everybody knows that one, right?
That.
Yeah.
You learned that in Meet the Fockers.
Oh, I didn't even know that was in there.
Yes.
That's been a long family tradition for a very long time. The victim called 911 and police arrived. And when police arrived on the scene, they found a machete in the yard that reportedly belonged to Mounts. Although Mounts told police he was using the weapon to defend himself, officer said he could give no reason why he needed to do that in the first place. Mounts later gave a written...
Unless that guy stood up and said, no, you're going to flush that toilet. I'm going to make you flush that toilet.
Right. Mounts later gave a written statement to investigators that summed up the thing simply and succinctly. Blank happened.
Well,
he's behind bars in the county jail in lieu of a $5,000 bond. So,
and all this could have been avoided.
Yeah,
if he would have just simply
got to hit the handle.
That little lever.
Right. What you got to do in that situation is be like, man, I tried. Your toilet's broken. Yeah. Like, so I don't know if the chain's off of it or what, but it just didn't flush, Let me go in there and look at it. And then you go in there and be like, oh, I got to work this time,
Yeah.
You got to play it off. I was at a party one time. This is when I first moved to Alabama.
Okay.
And I was with a friend. This friend who will remain unnamed because he is in law enforcement now. We went, it's an apartment party, like in an apartment. There's probably 30 people there. We're standing in line to go into the bathroom, and we had a few drinks. And he opens up, we're standing like right in front of their breaker box, and he turns off every breaker in that house except the ones feeding the lights.
Okay.
So like the next morning when they wake up, they don't have any hot water or whatever at this apartment. And he goes to the bathroom before me. and was in there for a while, you know, and I'm like, either he's taking a crap or he's doing some cocaine. It's very rude if he's doing cocaine without me. But he wasn't that type of guy anyways. And he comes out and he was like, go pee outside, man. I was like, why? And he's like, I'm not flushing the commode. And it was like, he went to that party with the idea, like, I'm just wreaking havoc on this house, you know?
Yes.
Like, I'm going to do everything I can to make this experience horrible for everybody. And, I think about that often. I'm like, what kind of person does that? And why was I hanging out with him?
What was the point of that?
I don't know.
He just
decided to wreak havoc on the world.
Wow.
And another time at another party, I was on one side of the room and he was on the other side of the room, and you can feel free to cut all this out because it's not interesting. Maybe was just scanning the crowd, and he was standing and he was leaning against the mantle of the fireplace, and he had his penis out, slapping an Ace of Base CD case with it.
Don't turn around, 'cause you're gonna see
In the middle of a crowded room. I was the only person who saw him, and I was the only person he was doing it for. Just to say, like, this is the kind of music they have at this party. And he holstered himself, put the CD case back on the mantle, and we went on with our night.
Oh, gosh.
He's been kicked out of several pro wrestling events before.
Yeah, he sounds like the kind of guy who would go into law enforcement.
Oh, yeah. He's a great guy. I mean, I love him. I hadn't talked to him in years, but I love him. You know,
Oh, man.
He's great. He's one of the most fun people to hang out with, for sure.
I tell you what, he would have wreaked havoc on my wife's CD collection back in the day. If that's how he felt.
I mean, it was just like, it was the most bizarre thing. Because imagine, like, you know, it was probably like a living room about the size of my living room. You know, it's
Yeah.
kind of a little bit bigger living room. And I'm just not like, I like walk in from the porch or whatever. And I'm just kind of looking around at everybody I look, and he's just propped up over there. And I'm just like, hey, you know, what's up, man? And then all of a sudden I look down, I'm like, oh, okay. He's just like, that's what I think about this, buddy. And then he just like put it up as if he knew I was about to walk in. You know, I don't know how long he'd been doing it. It may have started immediately when I walked in. It's very bizarre.
You saw the sign.
That's right. I did. It had opened up my eyes.
Oh, let's pull the plug on this.
Shout out to that guy. I don't think he listens, but if he did, I still remember that vividly to this day.
They open up my eyes, I saw the sign.
We want to thank our sponsor, world famous Cajun Curl Bayou Blended Spice, for their support. Check them out at CajunCurl.com. You can order the spice and their Cajun Curl cutter for potatoes right there on CajunCurl.com. It was created on the Elm Bayou in Evangeline Parish, Louisiana, and it is a seasoning that goes on everything. If you like cooking or eating, this is a spice for you. Cajun Curl Bayou Blended Spice goes well with chicken, beef, pork. Had some on my pork chops tonight, by the way.
Yeah.
Potatoes and anything else you can think of putting it on. Oh, we have mashed potatoes, and I put some on there too, you know.
Delicious.
Yeah. Can't put it on everybody's because they all have bland, boring taste buds, but I'm adventurous. The spiral potato cutter is absolutely amazing. It's easy to use, it's easy to clean, and it will allow you to make your own chips using the Cajun Curl spice. If you want to turn your next cookout or event up a notch, imagine whipping up a batch of homemade potato chips. Your next door neighbor, huge Ace of Base fan, isn't going to be able to top that. And let me tell you, the homemade potato chips with Cajun Curl blended spice on them will change your life. On CajunCurl.com, you can not only order the original Bayou blended spice, but the Cajun Curl chip cutter as well. And you'll find recipes that are absolutely mind-blowing. You can locate your nearest retailer or order your own there on CajunCurl.com. If your local grocer doesn't carry the world-famous Cajun Curl Bayou Blended Spice, ask them to start stocking it now. Here locally in the Tuscaloosa and Northport area, it is available at Vowels on Skyland Boulevard, South's Finest Meats, and Mark's Mart in Northport, and Piggly Wiggly in Northport. At the Pig. See you at the Pig.
Yeah.
All of their products are made in the USA, so not only do you enjoy the taste of Cajun Curl, but you also feel patriotic while you enjoy your meal. It's all natural, low salt, and it has a little kick, but it doesn't burn your lips. World famous Cajun Curl Bayou Blended Spice. Taste the spice, but not the heat. CajunCurl.com. Check them out and use this promo code. Listen up. Promo code changed.
Uh-oh.
It didn't.
This is news to me.
It didn't change. I was just getting everybody's.
Psych.
I was getting everybody's attention. It's EOP10. That's EOP and the number 10 to get a 10% discount.
Because we ask that you use the spice, but we don't ask you pay full price.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I was going to say, I thought that was an excellent read. That's probably one of the better ones I've done.
I think
by the
so.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope people didn't fast forward through that work of art.
We have a new 5-star review to read.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, this review comes from LilyCat1991, and the title of the review is Izzy Says.
Okay.
5 stars. So my daughter, 2 months old, starts screaming bloody murder if my husband puts Rick and Bubba on the radio. However, if I put EOP on, she sits quietly and listens. To sum up, Lizzie says EOP is better than the Rick and Bubba, and Mom agrees.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you so much, Lily Cat, and thank you so much, Izzy,
Yes.
for listening to our show. I like to think we're better than Rick and Bubba.
Oh, everybody knows we are.
Yes.
For sure. And I know who that is, by the way, who wrote that. Yeah. One of our hugest fans. Really great person.
Awesome.
Ooh.
Uh-oh, what's that?
Oh, that's a video of little Izzy. I was just double checking, make sure I didn't get the names mixed up. So, yeah, she's an awesome person.
I am both honored and a little bit disturbed that 2-month-old Izzy listens to our podcast, including stories about your cop buddy mushroom stamping an Ace of Base CD at a party.
She's too young. She doesn't understand. She doesn't understand.
Yeah.
She does not understand that. Yeah, sorry about that, Lindsay. I apologize. Probably should have thought about that before I went in on that. Saying that was, I'm sorry.
We did use accurate vernacular to describe the situation.
Most definitely.
So,
Most definitely.
well, you got anything else?
No, not really. Don't have really anything else to say at all other than I hope everybody has a really good week. Tell somebody about the show.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, we keep saying this and, you know, a few of you guys are doing it, but some of y'all are letting us down, you know? Also, leave us a review, you know?
Just
I know
like
we can see how many people download and listen to this show each week, which is way more than reviews we have coming in.
yes.
You know, so
Now, we don't know how many of those are Russian bots, but I would just like to say Russian bots,
Please
y'all
leave
better
us-
start
yeah.
leaving some reviews.
Right. Yes, leave us a review. You know?
Yeah.
We probably have about 10% reviews versus people who actually download the show. So, you know.
All right. You have been listening to Earth Oddity Podcast, and we thank you so much for listening to us, no matter where you get us, whether you get us from Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. We're on them all. If you would like to write into the show, you can reach us. We are earthoddity@planetmail.net. If you would like to tweet at us, you can follow us on Twitter. We are @_earthoddity. Do you like pictures? Sometimes we post
Put
pictures.
2 up this week.
Heck yeah.
Now, y'all better get on it.
And you can look at those pictures _Earth Oddity on Instagram. And if all of that fails
Yep.
and you want to call and leave us a voice message, you can do that too. And you can get us, what's that number?
It is 662-493-2059. That's 662-493-2059.
We hope everyone out there has an excellent week. Earth Oddity for the Fringe Radio Network signing off.
Love y'all.
Bye.
This has been a very odd production. Thanks for listening.